Mukesh is a member board of director and head of Tech Mahindra's IT and engineering business. Uh, One second. IT of business in Greater China, and he served as a head of vehicle development in Maruti Suzuki for 11 years. He's proven senior executive with 20 years of professional experience, marked by a trend of progressive positions of management responsibility in business development, sales, and marketing in IT industry. He's an entrepreneur by nature, and he has built a successful track record of consistent value creation over the years for end customers across all the businesses for which he has been responsible. And he is recognized as one of China's leading transformation leaders from Indian origin in the field of business development, sales, and customer relationship management. And Mr. Mukesh is a frequent public speaker and serves on board of India Association AI and Big Data Forums, CIO Alliances, TEDx, and has represented the Indian automotive industry in United Nations. He carries a strong relationships with the Chinese and Indian government bodies. He is driving the digitalization strategy by focusing on connected car, connected factories, and artificial intelligence-led growth for clients. And as you all know, he's an alumnus of EPGP 2010, and has done a mechanical engineering degree from Delhi College of Engineering. Before I give it to Mr. Mukesh, please make sure just check all the chat messages if you're facing any kind of technical problems. And at the end of the webinar, you can ask the questions in the chat window. And if you have any doubts or questions, please feel free to ask in the chat window. Okay, over to you, sir.
Yeah, hi, Sushma. Yeah, hi, Sushma. Thank you very much for the kind introduction. I hope all the people are able to hear me. A very good morning, good afternoon, and good evening to all the ladies and gentlemen. A warm welcome and greetings to all who have joined this wonderful session from different parts of the geographies. Congratulations to the IMB Alumni Association for running this webinar and bringing together alumni across the geography and sharing ideas and experiences. My name is Mukesh and I am running the business of Tech Mahindra in Greater China for last 8 years. I passed out of IIM Bangalore EPGP 2010, and since then I have been working in the Japan and China region. Tech Mahindra, if some of you are not maybe aware, Tech Mahindra is a global IT firm headquartered in India and spread across 100 countries, close to $4.5 billion of revenue currently. Today I will be sharing my experience in the field of artificial intelligence. At Tech Mahindra, we set up an AI lab last year, and we have been working with a lot of clients. We have set up this lab along with a Chinese partner, and we are incubating a lot of startups. China has a great story in the startups, and AI is definitely going and booming a lot. So I have put few slides for the purpose of discussions, and I have taken some data from some of the popular public domain research, something like from McKinsey, from PwC, our partners, Gaofeng Advisory, and augmented it with my personal interactions in the market, in the industry. I will not make it particularly an academic session in detail in technology, but I would like to draw some conclusions along with, and also be very happy to hear some challenging questions which will help me to learn as well and trigger some of the important questions which we are all facing in the field of artificial intelligence. As Sushma has highlighted, we will use around 40 to 45 minutes in the beginning to go through some of the initial discussions, and then I will open the session for the question and answers and open discussions. So if I move on to the slides, artificial intelligence. So the title today we have chosen is the impact on the industries. This slide shows a little bit about that how AI has gone through a long history of development. We are working with one of the leading advisory consultant in China called Gaofeng, and we did joint research, and from that we are able to track the hype cycle of AI development. If you see particularly, the AI story started long ago, almost around 70 years ago, and then it has been growing. We had witnessed an AI winter in 1980s when there was not much of the action was happening. Then another an AI winter was witnessed in 2006, where the University of Toronto developed deep learning, and then from there, the whole exponential growth has started. IBM Watson's beating Jeopardy, and recently AlphaGo beating the world's Go champions was the turning point. I was talking to the Google CEO in China, Scott Bimot, and he was explaining how the neural networks and whole action which has happened to defeat the world's Go champions resulted in exponential development and opening a new doors for the AI world. Why this is becoming possible and why such explosive growth is becoming possible is on particularly three areas. We have seen an enormous, tremendous development in the big data. The actual data stored in the data center globally has increased. The computer power has multiplied multiple times, and the creation of the neural networks and algorithms has led to new advances in big data, computing power, and algorithms. And that is particularly leading to this artificial intelligence growth. Now the question comes is that what is artificial intelligence? I think some of you are saying that the voice is not there. Let me just see why. Are you able to hear the voice? Because I'm hearing from some people that the voice is not there. Okay, great. Thank you very much. Right, so I was continuing that why artificial intelligence. If you try to take an assessment of AI, the AI, artificial intelligence, defined by the University of Stanford as a part of their AI 100 research, they started a study in 2016 and they will continue it for the next 100 years. And they define it as artificial intelligence is about adding intelligence to the machines, and intelligence is that quality that allows the machine to function appropriately with foresight to its environment. So when we say that it is about adding intelligence to the machine, so the question comes very clearly is, what is a machine? And if I try to explain this to my son who is 6-year-old kid, he understands calculator to be a machine. And machines in general perform actions much faster than human beings. A calculator, a simple machine, can multiply a 3-digit number, a 4-digit number, a 5-digit number much faster than a human being. But can we say is it AI? Or if not, then can we add intelligence to that calculator? That's a very simple example. I take another example which was taken up by the professor in an MIT class in 2010. He asked a very simple question. How many countries pass equatorial line in Africa? And I'm sure there's a quite learned audience present today. The moment this question is seen, you would be able to envisage that there is a map and you are mentally drawing that line on that map. And then you must be guessing the answers. Maybe the answer could be 4, 5, 6. I'm not sure if someone is there on this webinar from the Africa continent, but the answer is 6. There are six countries which actually pass through the equatorial line in Africa. Now, what essentially happens, it's a very complex problem to model from AI. The reason is that You can store a lot of multiple questions into a database, and as it happens when we were kids, there is a computer, it can give you answers which are stored there. The moment you ask that, and it will give you the answer. But what happens in this particular case is something like this. You heard the question, how many countries are passing through the equatorial line? Somewhere your brain, the human brain, has imagined the image, some kind of a text as well. Your brain has analyzed it, calculated it if you had the image in front of you, and again converted back that calculation which your brain has done into voice. So this is what exactly is happening in your brain. So if you want to really model, it is an AI problem. So if you want to really model, it is an AI problem. It is quite a complex problem to model. The particular reason I want to drive with this simple example, which was used in the MIT class, is if you have a lot of data which is stored in the model, it can give you the answer. But if there is no particular answer already stored as a structured data in your system, in your storage devices, then how that machine is going to fetch that answer? And that's where is the most important point comes, is that the machine has to become intelligent. You have to train the machine in such a way it has enormous multiple millions of sets of data. The neural network and the process algorithm should be conditioned in this way so that it becomes very clear and close to the human brain. And then it can give you this answer. So if there are some computer wizards or people who are present in the call or the webinar, I would be very happy to receive if someone can model this problem through the AI technique. Let's go to the next point. When I meet a lot of customers, partners, and very interesting people in China, I spent almost 8 years here. They talk to me that, yeah, they want to deploy AI, they want to get the benefit of AI in their systems, in their industry. Then I ask them, AI is actually almost a fifth step. First of all, you have to sense, as a human mind senses the data. You have to sense and connect your systems. If you're able to connect, then you have to collect. If you are collecting it, then you have to analyze. And then you do the data modeling, and the data scientist comes into the play, and that is the final step is of the artificial intelligence. Then you're able to add that intelligence to even a small calculator, which is just a machine. And we come back to the same definition. That is about adding intelligence to the machine with a particular foresight to its environment. That's what is the artificial intelligence. But the pity is this, that in my experience in last few years of analysis and talking to a lot of big companies, Chinese companies, companies of multiple origins, they're seriously lacking even in the first step. I sometimes tell some of them that you are sensing the data, but it's going to the drain. You are collecting the data, but you are not analyzing it, maybe not even 2 or 3%. So where is the question of modeling? So there's a lot of myth around AI. Everyone wants to do quick fix solutions and get the benefits, but a lot of industries are far away from there. Thank you very much for sending the questions. I'll try to address at the end of the seminar. I would like to remind if some of you would remember this statement by Archimedes long ago, that give me a lever long enough and a place to stand and I can move the earth. That was a time of mechanical advantages where you were looking to do everything, how you can create levers, leverages, mechanical engineering. But the new moral equivalent of this is the importance of data. Now the paradigm is shifting. The paradigm is give me the data dense enough and the boundary conditions for the data model and you can disrupt the world. So data has become extremely important. We're all hearing all these things, but we'll see how and why. When we talk about data, McKinsey and Tech Mahindra has worked together in some of the areas, and we arrive into these conclusions. There are 6 kind of data which we are able to see, particularly structured data, very well defined, which is absolutely you can use it into your data modeling. Boundary conditions are easy to apply, and you can get intelligence, you can add intelligence to your machines. Time series data, good, effective, huge data, huge volumes of data collected over a period of time, very advantageous to build the data models. Image is revolutionizing. People back in India would be using the Vivo mobile phones. It contains the face recognition algorithm designed by a Chinese company called Face++. Image classification, image classifiers is becoming the new revolution. Video, text, and audio are the other kinds of data which are all being used in designing the data models for artificial intelligence. The numbers you see on the right side is a number arrived on different statistical regression and analysis, which says the ease and the way it is finding the use in modeling. It is very easy to use a structured data. So 1 is that ratio. And it's very difficult, let's say 10% easy to use in audio data. But a very complex AI system, the example which we discussed, that how many countries pass through the equatorial line, has a multiple dimension of data. It has a data of voice, it has a data of image, it has data of text. So the more the dimensions of the data, the more the complexity of the algorithm. However, if the complexity becomes too much, then it is more expensive. So that's why the type of data is very important to define your modeling and how you want to use it. So how it is going to impact the industries? If you see this snapshot of an analysis from the ImageNet large scale, in last 7 or 8 years, the image classification AI systems have far exceeded the human performance in knowing and classifying the image systems. Someone was asking me that how does the computer recognizes an image? And if we just go back to the pixels and definitions of the
Hello all. Sorry for the inconvenience. Actually, presenter is facing some problem, I guess. I'll just talk to him and let me try to fix it. Okay. Sorry for the inconvenience. That's some kind of a graph, no? That is there.
Yeah. So can
Hear your voice on the webinar platform.
yeah, but can you hear the voice now in the webinar?
No, sir. No, I can't hear you.
Oh, this is very surprising because I think
Sir, you are trying to share anything video file or something?
no, nothing. I'm not trying to share. Let me just try to share.
Sir, just can you, if just try to check your audio, have you muted yourself this file?
No. I've just checked it. So can you hear my voice now?
No, sir, I have put my earphones, my ear. Sir, can you do one thing? Can you just close it and try to rejoin again?
Yeah. So maybe you can announce to all the people. I think some people said that no, but they're saying they're able to hear me. They're saying that they're able to hear me.
Oh, okay. I'll just check, sir. I don't know whether they're able to get it.
Okay. So I think they're giving me the clue that they can hear me. So I'll go on then.
Okay, sure.
Okay, fine. So I think I can hear. Okay, great. So I think they can hear me. So I'll just continue. So yes, so there is a distinct advantage. I will come back to you few things which are of my experience and in the market in the field I'm observing, meeting day in day out with the customers and the partners. Let's go to the next slide. This is also an important one, and I will be able to send this detailed report. It shows that the aggregate dollar impact AI is going to make probably. This is a report from McKinsey. PwC has maybe different views. Gartner has different views, and I also share my own views on the market and the field which is happening now. But if you clearly see around 35 to 60 trillion dollar of AI impact is going to be there in the industries, and different industries have different classifications. Let's take retail shows the highest. So it says that while the industry revenues around, let's say 100 as a number, the impact AI is going to bring is around 3.2 to 5.7%. So if we see all across the industry, around 1 to 10% of the impact AI is going to make. So you can imagine if people are using AI as a frightening factor, it's not so. It is going to be quite important that we should be able to use AI in the right measures, in the right modelings. Now, when I talk to a lot of people, I say very clearly that whether AI is deployable in your industry or not. So some gentleman was asking why the AI uses is lowest in the defense. The AI deployment and its applicability purely depends upon, are you able to increase your top line, or are you able to make impact on your bottom line? If you are not able to define a use case in your industry which contributes either of these two, then AI will not be able to make an impact. So if it comes to a defense sector, and what kind of data modelings you are going to use, what kind of intelligence you are going to add into the machines, it makes a huge difference. So this is the most important area. If the people who are there from different industries, if they're trying to deploy, spend money on this, make the assessment very clearly whether they really want to make a deployment of an AI layer. And please remember, we discussed 5 things: sense and connect and collect and analyze, and then comes the data modeling, and finally comes the AI. So you need to go through this whole 4 or 5 step process before you start deploying AI and get the benefit. If you're not able to get a benefit from, let's say if your revenue of a unit is $100 million, if in the next 3 years you do not have a foresight to make it $500 million, then there is no point of using an AI use case which can deliver you that impact, because deploying AI would be expensive, and you have to have a clear-cut model to get the benefit. So this is a very simple and a clear definition that how do you define your business impact. Now, it's an important slide purely on the experience of Tech Mahindra and our experience in this China market, where last year itself in 2017, China invested $28 billion in AI itself. Probably after the Silicon Valley is the highest in any country. These are the 3 important things which are clearly coming out from the discussions. People want to use cases have to be deployed of AI either to engage their customers or to engage their employees. Almost 2/3 of the people we have discussed, and this is a data including talking to almost around 70 top leaders of Fortune 500 companies and some of the Chinese companies. 90% of the people want to use AI for data analysis. They have some data analysis already, but they want to enhance. They want to add intelligence to their data analytics, do predictive maintenance, predictive analytics. And then finally, almost 3/4 of the people said yes, they want to automate their business processes to have a clear impact on their bottom lines. One of the automotive company, a tier 1 company, came to us and said that they use almost X million dollars in quality checking of their products at the end of the line. They want to reduce the cost by 90%. How can they automate the process of quality checking using the computer vision and creating the data model and training them subsequently? So these are the 3 important areas where AI is engaging. You can identify in wherever industry you are that which is your segment you want to choose on. The use cases, if you classify those three as a broad area, the use cases which are being popularly being accepted and used first, more than half of the people are very very ready to actually use the computer vision based AI solutions because they are agnostic of language, they are agnostic of any technology. The moment you're able to train your data by the vision or the computer vision you are able to use, it can give you the benefits. And we'll talk some of the few cases about that. Internet of Things is creating a lot of data. So your sense and connect part is getting taken care of from the IoT side. And then once you have the sense and connect and you are connecting and collecting, you start analyzing and then you build the AI layer. So all the companies, for example, we are talking to an elevator company. An elevator company wants to use and connect all their elevators and see how they can push and anyone who enters into the elevator to push the retail brands. For example, the camera is fitted in the elevator, a lady goes into the elevator, so they want to showcase the advertisements of the products which are used by the ladies. And if a man is there, accordingly changes. And if both are there, then it has to do an algorithm. So Internet of Things, wherever is becoming applicable, the AI solutions are getting the first embraced entry. Robotic process automation to reduce the cost, bottom line impacts is definitely becoming very highly embraced. Deep learning, natural language processing is taking shape, but it's still far away because the neural networks and the classifications and the modeling is quite complex. You also saw the data, the 6 types of data which we showed, and you also saw that the audio data is the least structured one, and there are a lot of complexities to model it. That's why the ability to justify the use is still lower. You can see Alexa or Echo or Cortana and all these platforms coming from the leading players. They're adding to this acceptability, but it's still far away. We came across a fantastic startup in China. Chinese people are very aspirational to speak English, and they want to provide the English atmosphere to their Chinese kids. So one startup is coming up with a natural language atmosphere where they're putting 2 robots who will talk in English. They are kept into the room of the child. So the child wakes up, the moment they sense the action or activity, immediately they start talking to the child. Hey Jack, how are you? How was your last night? Did you have good dreams? And if the child doesn't respond at all, then the other bot, which is called a slave bot, starts interacting and starts saying something else. So they're providing the natural language environment for the Chinese kids so that they can learn English. Otherwise, they just go to a tuition center, learn the English for half an hour, 1 hour, and come back, and they don't have the atmosphere. So in those areas, AI and the natural language processing is finding a B2C use. Quite astounding. If you talk about particularly the manufacturing industry, if you see the McKinsey report, and it's quite significant, I was very happy to see their finding because it really matches with the field. When we see the 2 categories, either you have a business case impacting your top line or you have a business case impacting your bottom line. Marketing and sales and supply chain, these are the 2 important areas where the business heads are very, very aggressive to use AI layer to adopt it and spend money to realize the benefits. Other areas of product development, operations are still finding use, but the embracement and the impacts are much, much lower. Now let's see what are the use cases which are actually they are highlighting, and I'll tell about the use cases which we are also seeing in the market field. In marketing and sales, customer service management, they're saying $0.4 to $0.8 trillion. The analytics to ascertain next product to buy, pricing and promotions, again the B2C dimension, customer acquisition, lead generation. These are the areas where you already have the data, you have the traditional techniques, and AI is adding that intelligence to that machine which has already been built by people over the years. They have their regression, their forecasting, trending techniques which are already there, and how you can add intelligence to that whole system. And then if you see, supply chain management is another one where you take the supply chain and manufacturing part, predictive maintenance. One of the manufacturing giants came to us and told us that they want to predict the failure. So we asked, what is the most important failure you have, and what is the biggest challenge? So they told a very simple thing that Mukesh, I want to find out when my line will stop. The moment the line stops in the manufacturing, and before working in Tech Mahindra, I was in Suzuki Motor. I know from shop floor to top floor how things work. Stoppage of a line on a production is a crime. So they said, we want predictive maintenance to know when the line stops. Now, how to model it? I asked you, tell me, what are the biggest areas of your, the biggest areas why the line stops? They gave us a huge list of the data. These are the possible reasons why the line stops. So we asked, okay, fine, tell us the top 3 reasons by your statistical analysis of last 1 or 2 years. They gave us the top 3 reasons. We started modeling the whole data. And then we asked, okay, how much is the forecast you need? What is the predictive maintenance you need? Do you want to know the future for next 2 weeks? Do you want to know the future for next 1 week or 1 year or 2 years? The more the time span, the more the data crunching, the more it's expensive. Then the answer came, no, Mukesh, we want to just know, can I know that my line is going to stop at least 1 week in advance? What could be the possible failure which can tell me? Great. That's a great boundary condition to model the data. But if you want to model the whole data for 1 year or half a year, it's huge. Yes, maybe some of the most critical systems, like someone was asking defense, aircrafts, it could be huge. Deploying such a predictive maintenance mechanism or predictive failure in those areas could be very expensive. May not be mass AI deployable. Maybe their use case are not justifiable, or maybe very highly justifiable. So it depends what is the appetite in which areas are looked. So predictive maintenance is definitely being embraced by the manufacturing industry. If you see from our analysis, the left-hand side shows image classification, IoT, the deep learning, which includes some part of the audio, some parts of the other dimensions, and robotic process automation. They are actually leading to typical use cases of predictive maintenance, quality check, where you are replacing the human intervention. One medical device making company was talking, and they said they are into orthopedics industry. They have millions of X-ray images, and they want to create a pattern analysis of the diagnostics. It's a purely image-based diagnostic analysis, and how you add intelligence to the millions of data sets you have. So that's why, again, coming back to the same point, when Archimedes said, you give me a long lever enough and place to stand, the whole moral equivalent is different now. If you have million sets of data point and you have the boundary conditions, then you can model and you can add intelligence to your current system, which is providing you the analytics. Image recognition, widely deployed in China. If you go to any organization, they don't give you the visiting entry passes anymore. They just take your photograph and you are okay to go into any of the access provided locations just by your face. And it is happening real time. So image recognition has been mastered to a very, very high extent. The algorithms are highly defined. And these use cases are getting embraced in the manufacturing industry for finding the defects, for increasing the customer experience, the user experience on the plants, even the gesture, voice, image, because a human being, when he interacts with a human being, he uses gestures, he uses his, images, or his, voice, he uses text, everything. So that will be the end of the final level where the AI would be reaching and interacting. Product development is another area of the control systems. I take an example of an auto company which is developing the advanced driver assistance systems. They want to analyze complete video so that they can build and they can map the complete infrastructure of the future autonomous cars which they are planning to roll out in the next 5 years. They want to collect each and every data, every car which is driving. So you can imagine how complex things are going to be, but then the impact on the top line or the bottom line will define how much money you want to spend. Quickly taking some example from the retail industry. Retail industry is probably seeing the most important revolution, and you must be noticing because mobile phone is on hand all the time, and we are being fed a lot of information. So pricing and promotion, customer service management, personalizing, these are becoming a very, very nominal use cases in the retail industry. And retail industry has the most justifiable AI deployments. Few examples which we have particularly noticed using the left-hand dimensions of the data. New customer acquisition, absolutely. Pricing promotions, task automation, and face recognition. The experience in face recognition has tremendously changed. Whether it is accessing your mobile phone by the face or even changing or even paying it. Alibaba and Tencent, which are the big, now top 10 companies of the world as well, their payment systems are transferring to the face-based. I'll take another example of the emerging use cases in the healthcare industry. This is a very important slide which tells that medical image analysis and virtual assistance for the patients is something is going to drive the maximum value. We have been also particularly noticing that the medical image analysis is going to be the biggest money spinner in the healthcare industry. Very, very justifiable top lines, very, very justifiable bottom lines. Now let's go to the important point, the limitations and challenges. The important challenge we are facing in AI is that labeling and training data is still the most important activity, and it's very, very supervised learning. The manual intervention is much, much needed. So AI will not happen automatically. It has to go through the sense, connect, collect, and that process. And human beings have to label, and they have to train the data model. And the data model has to be also refreshed. Even if you have made a data model for your retail system or if you're on an automotive or a manufacturing, it has to be refreshed. The frequency of the refreshment could be weekly, could be daily, could be monthly. So still a lot of human intervention would be needed. So this fear, this anxiety is a myth that AI is going to replace the jobs or completely kill the jobs. Yes, there will be automation, there will be more efficiency, but human intervention will remain and will remain and remain. The next challenge is it needs a massive data sets. If you are throwing your data in the drain, then as a company, you are nowhere close to AI. It's a dream. You keep on dreaming, but then nothing will happen. So first of all, you have to keep on collecting the data. And data has to be collected in any of the forms, structured, time series, video, audio, text, images, whatever is relevant to your field of the business. The third important challenge we face is how to explain the result. One company came to us, they make the control units for emission systems. They defined the problem very clearly. They said that I make the control systems for reducing the emissions, the carbon dioxide and carbon monoxide of a running car. But my system is modeled for certain laboratory and boundary conditions. But when the car goes on the field, if the temperature changes, if it is rainy, there are so many multiple variations that the emission is not optimized. I want to add AI layer into my electronic control unit so that that intelligence is added into that machine, and that machine changes according to each car anyone is driving. But how do you explain these results? Customers are feeling, people are feeling that if I don't know how this intelligence is added, can you show me the model? Can you show me the model how really it becomes intelligent? Just like a human being. If you train a kid from age of 3-4 years to the age of 15-16, show him a different sets of data and tell this is a bottle of milk, this is a bottle of water, this is a bottle of a shampoo, he or she gets the data trained in his mind. It's a training of the data for multiple years as a human being, our brain. Same thing has to happen into the systems. So the biggest challenge is that even if you ask me, in a very short period of time, it's very difficult to explain the benefit you're going to have. So this industry is facing this challenge. The fourth is generalizability of the learning. You cannot generalize the learning from one area to another area. Even if you train your data model into one segment, you cannot transport it to the next segment so easily. If you have trained your model for the classification of the bottle of images of the water, milk, any alcohol, non-alcohol, any kind of drink, you cannot use the same data or a system to do the classification of any hardcore device. You have to again train that. So again, you need human intervention. And then finally, the topic which is coming more often now, potential biases. I will not name the company, but recently we have seen the CEO of the big company apologizing in front of their parliament about the biases created in the elections of a major country. So if the data model is created and trained with a lot of bias, then it will create those kind of decision making. It's just like if you train a human being in a certain set of atmosphere, in a certain set of data, then their operating system or their choices and the decision making would be different. So that is definitely a threat, and it will be present, and it will be affecting the world definitely. So this is all I just wanted to put to all of you today, a mix of what is happening around. You must be hearing, reading, watching a lot of stuff. Great pleasure to be interacting with all of you who want to really hear some interesting ideas. You can collaborate further on. We are very open to listen to some interesting solutions to some new problems, or even if you want to model some new systems and add intelligence to certain kind of a machine, very open. So Sushma, I think we can open this session for some of, and people wanted to have some queries being explained.
So they've already, I think, asked the questions in chat window. Can you just see?
Hi, Sushma.
The filter there in the chat window, can you able to see?
Chat window. How to see the chat window? I think not able to see this.
So just click on hover on the top of your screen.
Okay, and okay, chat. Yes, okay, chat. Chat with everyone, right? Okay, okay, fine. Okay, right.
So you just open and you.
Yes, I can.
You should also have asked some questions.
Okay, I can. Yes, I can see the questions, right? Okay, so I have seen the question. So this is Ashutosh. Ashutosh is asking that more insights on defense sector in China, please. Okay. So I think if I talk about the defense sector is very protective. In fact, very right question you asked. Our Foreign Minister of India, Sushma Swaraj, is here today in Shanghai, and they're meeting the defense ministers and all the leadership. Defense sector is quite different, and it works in a very stealth mode. So sometime operating and doing anything for them is very difficult. But yes, Ashutosh, if there are very specific questions about modeling some defense problems, it can be done. There are a lot of defense systems being already on intelligence, but adding intelligence to the machines is a critical phenomenon, as you would have seen that it requires a lot of data, and you need to control those machines as well. So it will be a little difficult to probably manage and add intelligence to defense machines, and they can operate of their own. You would need a human intervention. Rajiv Chopra, thanks Rajiv. Dharmendra, thanks. Muzaffar is asking, is there anything about the nature of the problem that makes it more suitable to AI? Nature of the problem, okay. So I think that's a very good question, Muzaffar. See, I think, if you see, we discussed that it's all about adding intelligence to the machine. And anything which is very data centric, or which is very manual, where you can achieve a lot of reduction of the cost by removing 1,000 people to a one-man job, or if you can automate the process, it's a typical AI problem. You can definitely use robotic process automation, and then the machine can learn more and more and can get more accurate to the problems. So that could be a very important area where it can use. We discussed 3 areas: gaining insights to customers, or engaging customers and employees, or gaining insights to data, or automation. So these are 3 areas, 3 dimensions where AI is more applicable. Varun Prakash, can AI predict when an employee is going to leave the organization? Yeah, I think this is already being in process, but it seriously affects the questions of security and the privacy. But yeah, there are systems being built in which they can actually get access to your calendar of employee, how much time he's spending on the phone calls, what kind of emails they are writing. So it's analysis of structured data, text data, may not be the audio data, but your pattern of calendars, how much time do you spend on phone calls, are you really meeting people? So yeah, it can be predicted by your trends. But then it has to be trained, the data model has to be trained incessantly, so it becomes closer to accuracy, because from the day one, your data model will not be accurate. Okay, Raju, yes, I will. I think this will be recorded session. This PPT can be shared. Okay, yeah. Okay, so Ramu is asking where is Tech Mahindra position in China on AI, in terms of revenue and areas we are working, like automotive, finance, medical, energy. Yes, I think Tech Mahindra has set up an AI lab in Shanghai, and we are using a lot of startup ecosystem and solutions, and positioning the 3 areas which you have mentioned, and taking the customers from point A to point B. Rinky you said that the audio is the most difficult use case for AI, but then you spoke about robots teaching Chinese people English. How is this happening if the audio processing AI technology is poor? See, they have started to do that, but its use is still limited, Rinky, and it is still getting to a stage where it has to learn a lot. It's just like, imagine that you need to have a human brain who can understand how the people are talking.
So the audio processing is happening. You have Siri, you have Alexa, but yes, the audio data is still not getting that much of acceptance. Siddharth Podar, a long message from EPG2B 2019 batch. Last year, Facebook built 2 chatbots which can actually learn how to negotiate by mimicking. They were shut down. How do you see these with danger that shut down? And yes, yes, I think it depends that what kind of data modeling was done and whether things have been controlled or not. But yes, there's definitely some concerns being done, and if the data model has certain biases and if they are not controlled, if they're not trained properly, it can definitely go out of control. But we are here actually limiting our discussions to the impact on industries. We come from different industries and how we can use AI to different dimensions of data, different sets of use cases, and do that. Ravindra Kumar, can AI help to boost employees' PSYCAP? I don't know what is PSYCAP, but yes, certainly I think it can give a right kind of messaging to the different kind of employees, and it can definitely help. But then again, it is all about training the data. You have to put a lot of data about your employees. Satish, probably government won't leave it to robots, prefer manual intervention. Yes, people will still be important. There's no need to afraid and worry. You have seen some of the data from big research companies that AI is going to be helping around 3 to 10%. So it is not going to rob off anybody's job, but yes, it will going to help and make it more efficient. One question by Suraj Gupta, may not be related to this forum. I am an RPA programmer. Which field I should grow to take up AI projects? Robotic process automation, I think the data modeling and data programming is very important. We always say that domain nowadays is becoming a subject of few people, but yes, data science and data modeling, how to assess the boundary conditions and how to come to the KPI is the most important thing. Okay, Vinod says everything can be explained can be also achieved with traditional coding example if, and how AI is algorithm used. Okay, yeah, that's a good question. Yes, traditional techniques are always there, but AI is adding intelligence to the machine you've already created. So calculator is a machine. It is really doing the calculations for you anyway. So how you can add the AI layer over the calculator is the most important thing. So how do you add that AI layer is the most important thing in this case. So yes, the techniques are there, but adding intelligence is the most important thing. Are political party using this in elections? Yes. Anyone who has the data, you give the data dense enough, and you can model it. You can definitely get a lot of insights by traditional methods and by the artificial intelligence method as well. Can we, Vasundhara asked, can we ask use AI to predict if employee will join or not? Post interview and offer? Yeah, it's an important and difficult question. But yes, once you have the data about those people and if the privacy issues are not there, for example, the social media sites are now giving you more rights of your privacy, then probably it will become different. But yes, if you have the data from the social media sites about that person and how he behaves, how he does, then if the data can be modeled, yes, for that particular data set, you can predict that how he will do or how he will not do. Okay, boost employees PSYCAP creativity. Okay. Ashu Patak asks, can you please tell me some companies working on text, diagram, formula, and numbers? Is it possible at present? Yes, there is a lot of companies working, a lot of startups working in, and you can connect and drop me an email. My email is there, and we can definitely collaborate on that. Madhav Bhartiya, what do you think about voice assistants and your thoughts on screenless voice-only devices? Yes, absolutely. This is going to be a big revolution. It is coming up. Already, artificial intelligence text-based assistants already come, where you send an email to your, any person, and you mark CC to your AI assistant, and they will synchronize your calendars and set up the meetings for you. They'll act as an assistant. In the healthcare industries, doctors are using for the scheduling these kind of assistants, and even the voice will be used. Mentoring is a potential area for AI. Well, it can be, yes. Someone raised this question to me in one of the discussions. Then, can AI be used to create different multiple AI cases? We are struggling to find out what could be the use case for an industry. Can AI be used to create those use cases? Yes, it can be used for mentoring as well, but again, it's all about data. Please don't forget, AI comes as a fifth step. Sense and connect, connect and collect and analyze, data model it, and then comes the intelligence. AI can be used in R&D. Yes, I gave some examples as well in the webinar. It can be used for electronic control unit modelings. It can add those layers over it. Data warehouse, data modeling, process is same. Data warehouse is a warehouse, and modeling contains a lot of different algorithms and regression analysis. How we can we use the AI in defense sector? Saurabh Kumar, how we can enhance the use of AI in defense sector? I think we have to be more specific. There are multiple use cases which can be done. Ganesh Kumar, as of now, what percentage of human brain efficiency are modeled automated using AI technology? I think it's a good question, but it's difficult to answer. But I can answer one thing, that whatever data models we have created, we have seen from day one, they are not at all being accurate. They only become accurate over a period of time, and it takes millions of data sets to become more closer to 80 to 85% of what human does. But I showed you one screenshot in which in 2015 the AI systems for image recognition have actually crossed the human intervention. So it means they have become more perfect than even the humans. So yes, slowly and steadily, like it has happened in image, it will happen in voice, it will happen in other areas of data characterization. Which IT company is leader in AI? I think all are trying to create their spaces. Very difficult to say at this point of time. Okay. Lakshmi Shankar, as a country, is India ready to adopt AI in terms of infrastructure requirement and reach? Yes, I think there's a lot of work happening in all developing nations, and I was seeing a report from Ernst and Young somewhere, and they mentioned that India and China both are adopting AI much faster, and that they are really being more, speedier in terms of implementing it as compared to even US. US is probably investing a lot, but then they are very cautious and taking a more holistic view. So India definitely would be doing a lot of stuff in AI. Probably one use case they may be working or would have started working is probably face recognition of the Aadhaar card which is there. It is the most important use case where you can link it with a lot of data modeling. Employee creativity. Could AI help to predict employee creativity? Yes, if you can make a model of the data and you can put enough data about your employees and multiple dimensions, how do you measure creativity? It can definitely be done. Satish, can AI trigger the next recession, depression? It can actually in a way, but I would feel that some companies who would be using AI for their business use cases, they will definitely grow. In cases of recession and depression as well, some companies still do better, but some don't. But I think AI is going to trigger more growth rather than recession or depression. What are the areas where AI can be used in government sector? Government is a very important sector where it can be used because it caters to a lot of healthcare. Healthcare is the most important area where India is particularly lacking. Even China has a lot of gap in healthcare. A lot of new young population, a lot of aging population, and definitely diagnostic is an important thing where junior skilled doctors with the help of AI can diagnose critical problems and can do remote analysis and remote monitoring and remote diagnosis. So I think in healthcare, especially the government sector should use it because it can really affect a lot of masses. Suraj Gupta, I already answered that. Okay. So Kiarun, what are the other applications that you see in the automotive industries for AI apart from ADAS or autonomous driving? Oh, in automotive industries, a lot of applications. I did discuss few things about predictive maintenance in the plant. I talked about, of course, the ADAS and the autonomous part. The quality check. The quality check is becoming a very easily adoptable AI solution, computer vision based solution for the end of the line testing. Okay. Will AI cause mass unemployment? No, not at all. It will be creating a lot of work because everybody is going to adopt multiple data. A lot of data modeling will happen and a lot of supervised learning of these systems shall happen. Please remember, machine plus intelligence is AI. So wherever you have your machines or any kind of a software system which acts as a machine to give you any output, has to have some kind of intelligence, and it will require supervised learning. Impact, Ankur asked, would be keen to learn the impact on training, industry, and for practicing chartered accountants. Yes, I think I did not touch the banking sector because of time limitation, but yes, financial services and banking areas would be an important area, and this will definitely going to grow. Is AI detrimental to human beings? Not at all. Sanjay asking that. Vivek, what is the difference between the 5 steps leading to AI? Please explain again in detail. 5 steps, I think I've been repeating in my conversation. You can hear the webinar again. But yes, it is sense and connect, connect and collect, collect and analyze, and data science, data modeling, and then comes the AI. Satish asks, AI would be select the right candidate in the interviews for specific company profile, which HR family will identify in some cases. Yes, there are a lot of HR cases have been used. You would have seen in the presentation. I did not touch in detail, but yes, it is being used in the HR functions as well. But the most used in manufacturing is the areas of marketing and sales and manufacturing, supply chain, because that's where it defines and qualifies the criteria of top line and bottom line much faster. Is it possible for AI to know the mindset of a person in terms of motivation? Yes, I think we discussed that. Quite possible. How much money has Tech Mahindra made using AI? Well, I think all the IT companies in the race, and they're all trying to make their space in different sectors, and there are different data. You can refer to our annual balance sheet. Yes, it is definitely giving a lot of difference, and we are taking our clients from point A to point B using AI. Ashutosh, is Tech Mahindra have any insights in China brain project? Yes, we have. We can discuss probably separately. Where is India in AI market? Vivek Srivastava, where do you see AI in 5 years at global level? Which industries will be utilizing AI most? I think we discussed in detail. Retail, travel logistics, travel, AI, automotive industry, banking will be using the most. What's the possible impact of GDPR and other privacy laws with quality training data that increase the entry barrier for startups? That it will increase the entry barriers, because now the more it is becoming important, it is getting the imperative that a lot of security laws will come in place. Indian agriculture, impact of AI. Yes, wherever there is a data, wherever there is a decision, wherever there is an action, you can use the AI. But yes, agriculture area, it can be used, especially IoT, wherever the Internet of Things data is available, either about the crops, about the temperature, rains, humidity, and there are a lot of combinations, huge scope of data modeling. How can one transition to career in AI scene? Yeah, it's an important question, but probably, there are multiple ways you can enter. You have seen the value chain of AI today in the presentation. You can choose any of the value chain closer to your current area of work. You can, if you are into the machines and the industry side, you can go into the sensing and connecting side. You can be in that value chain. If you are already in the software IT side, you can move into the data modeling and data science. You can choose which area you want to move in. Cost of adoption of AI, what might cost more, data pre-processing, getting people to write algorithms. Yeah, there's a cost of AI. As you've seen, that 5-step process is a cost of AI, and you have to critically evaluate in terms of top and bottom line. China is taking the lead by Raju Agrawal, as they have loads of data, which is quite critical to build the best AI model. Yes, definitely. China is definitely leading the way, and it will become a big barrier. It will be very difficult to bring value to them unless you know their data points. Yes, thanks, Satish. I think we will definitely keep on collaborating. And thank you very much, everyone. If there's any question, you can drop me on the email. Thanks a lot for connecting today. Thank you very much, and all the best to the IM Alumni. Very nice connecting to all of you. Thanks to the IM Alumni Association. Sushma, all the IMB staff who has been diligently organizing this on a Saturday evening as well. Thank you so much.
Thank you, Mukesh sir. Yeah, it was a wonderful, and I think I can see all our participants are all very actively engaging in the webinar. Thank you so much. And I have sent one webinar feedback form to all participants. Please kindly fill it. It will really help us to improve our thing. And this webinar, the file will be sent to you by an email. You can just check maybe on Monday or Tuesday. Yeah, thanks all for joining the webinar. Yeah, thank you, sir. Hello.